Welcome to today's topic. Today we are discussing angular momentum. Angular momentum is the rotational analog of linear momentum. Just like we say torque is the rotational analog of force, we can say that angular momentum is the rotational analog of linear momentum. And this angular momentum is a vector quantity and it is acting along the axis of rotation. The mathematical expression for angular momentum, it is given by vector L is equal to vector R cross vector P. So the magnitude of angular momentum, it becomes Rp sine theta, and in this equation as usual vector R is the position vector and vector P is the linear momentum vector. Linear momentum P means m into V. So that's how we have L is equal to Rp sine theta. So it can be mvr sine theta also. Angular momentum, it is also called as moment of linear momentum. Just like we say torque is the moment of force, we say angular momentum is the moment of linear momentum. The directions of angular momentum and torque, it is as shown. Both angular momentum and torque act along axis and the direction is given by right hand thumb rule as given in the diagram. The dimensional expression for angular momentum is ml square t raised to minus 1 and the SI unit of angular momentum we can say kilogram meter square per second. Now we discuss the relation between torque and angular momentum. To get the relation, we have to differentiate the expression for angular momentum with respect to time. So we have L is equal to R cross P. So as I have told, you can use either capital letter L or small letter L to represent angular momentum. So we have d by dt of L is equal to d by dt of R cross P. So applying the product rule for differentiation to the right hand side, we have d by dt of R cross P equal to dr by dt cross P plus R cross dP by dt. So this is a particular rule from differentiation. This you have to study or by heart. That's what I would like to say. So d by dt of R cross P equal to dr by dt cross P plus R cross dP by dt. Now term by term we will see what it is. Dr by dt, you know dr by dt is V. So the first term, this term, it becomes V cross P. You know what is P? What is P? P is momentum, that is mv. So it becomes V cross m into V. You know V cross V, m is scalar, no? So you can take it outside that, cross product. So we'll have the term V cross V. So cross product of a vector with itself, it gives the result 0 because you know V cross V, the angle between V and V, it is 0 and sine 0 is 0. So that cross product gives the result 0. So the first term becomes 0. And what remains is the second term. When we look at the second term, you just see what is that R cross dP by dt. dP by dt, you know, from second law of motion, Newton's second law of motion, it is nothing but F, the force. So we have R cross F. The second term is R cross F. Okay, so our expression becomes, we started with d by dt of L. So d by dt of L is equal to R cross F. And what is R cross F? You know, that is what is torque. So our expression, it becomes d by dt of L is equal to tau. So very important expression, we have the relation between angular momentum and torque. Just like this equation, that means dP by dt equal to F in linear motion, we have dL by dt equal to tau. Because already we have said that analogous to P, we have L, the angular momentum in rotational motion, and analogous to force, we have torque in rotational motion. So analogous to that particular equation dp by dt, we have the expression dl by dt equal to 2. So it means that the time rate of change of angular momentum of a particle is equal to the torque acting on it. And this is the rotational analog, as we said, F is equal to dp by dt, which is nothing but Newton's second law of motion. So analogous to that second law of motion, we have this equation. Now, law of conservation of angular momentum. We have the expression tau is equal to dl by dt. In that equation, if we put tau is equal to 0, we'll get dl by dt equal to 0. What does it indicate, dl by dt equal to 0? It shows that L is a constant, and that's what law of conservation of angular momentum says. That means if the external torque acting on a body is 0, then angular momentum remains constant. That is law of conservation of angular momentum. And you know, this L is a vector quantity and it has x, y and z components like Lx, Ly and Lz, or we can write L as Lxi plus Ly, Lyj plus Lzk, like that. Okay, that means this L has x, y and z component. So L equal to constant means Lx is constant, Ly is constant and Lz also is constant. So component wise it will be remaining constant. So that's what law of conservation of angular momentum says. If the external torque acting on a body is 0, angular momentum remains constant. Now we move on to our next topic, that means couple. So couple means two equal forces. Couple, the word itself suggests two. Okay, so two equal forces, and what is the peculiarity of that equal force? They are acting in opposite direction. Okay, the two equal forces, they are acting in opposite direction and their lines of action, so they are not acting at same point of the object. On the same object itself, at two different points, these two equal forces are acting in opposite directions. So we say their lines of action do not coincide. Okay, so such pair of forces is called as couple. So a couple means pair of equal and unlike parallel forces. That's what we mean by couple. And what is the peculiarity of that couple? Their lines of action do not coincide. So two equal and opposite forces whose lines of action do not coincide constitute a couple. And what to do with this couple? This couple always produces a torque. This couple always produces a torque. Example for this couple we will have, when we open the lid of bottle, actually with the fingers we are applying two forces which are in opposite direction. You can try with a bottle. With two fingers you are applying forces in just opposite directions, but their lines of action do not coincide. So such two forces constitute couple, and couple produces torque, and that's how that lid of the bottle is rotating. Just like the same with the compass needle. See, when you keep a compass needle in one particular place, you know it gets oriented in geographic north-south direction. Now, when you bring a bar magnet in its vicinity, what happens is that compass needle, it rotates. Here also what comes into action is this couple, because on both ends of this compass needle you have north and south pole. So when you bring an external bar magnet, due to its magnetic field on the north pole and south pole of the compass needle, forces will be experienced, but the two forces will be in opposite direction depending on which polarity you have brought closer to the compass needle, north pole or south pole. Anyway, on the north pole and south pole, the forces acting will be in opposite direction, and you can see the lines of action they do not coincide. They are not in the same direction. So these two forces acting on either side of the compass needle, they constitute couple, and that couple produces torque. And due to the torque, it is rotating. That's rotation only we feel as deflection when a bar magnet is brought nearer to the compass needle. Okay, this is a common experience. In the case of steering of vehicles, the same thing is there. That means on either side of the steering, we will be applying force in opposite direction, and those two forces, they constitute couple, and the couple produce torque. That's how this steering is rotating. So there are many situations where in our daily life where we apply this couple. So we can define couple as a system of forces that consists of two parallel forces that has equal magnitude, oppositely directed, and do not act in a straight line but are separated by a perpendicular distance. Such system of forces we can call as couple. So when we draw diagram, this diagram represents couple. So this diagram, it shows couple. You can see two forces. One is here and the other is here. Okay, the lines of action. So this is what we mean by line of action of the two forces. See, the line of action are not in the same line. They are separated by a distance. Yes, that distance you see, it is perpendicular to the lines of action. That's how we call that distance as perpendicular distance. So such two forces constitute couple. So equal and opposite forces whose lines of action do not coincide constitute couple, and the couple always produce torque. So this second diagram also represents a couple. Now what is meant by arm of the couple? Arm of the couple means the perpendicular distance between lines of action of the two forces. So this perpendicular distance is called as the arm of couple. And what is the moment of the couple? That means torque produced by the couple. That's what we mean by moment of the couple. The moment of the couple is the product of force. Force means we know there are two forces, but both the forces are equal in magnitude. So we can say magnitude of any of the forces. Two forces, they are equal in magnitude. So one of the forces into perpendicular distance between the lines of action of the two forces. You know that perpendicular distance is called as arm of the couple. So in short, we can define moment of the couple as one of forces into arm of the couple. One of the forces in the diagram we had represented that force as P. So this distance we wrote as A. So moment of the couple or torque, that moment is the same as torque. So these two words are alike. That means moment of a force and torque are same. We already discussed. So moment of the force or moment of the couple and the torque, it is same, and here it is given by P into A, where P is one of the forces and A is the arm of the couple. Or in short, we can say moment or the torque due to a couple is one of the forces into perpendicular distance between the lines of action. That's what the torque produced by a couple. Now, when we speak about the torque produced by a couple, it can be in two senses. We were discussing the sense of rotation like clockwise or anti-clockwise. So you can see in the first diagram, you can see this produces clockwise rotation. So this particular case, that first case, it produces clockwise rotation. So clockwise couple, so when we write or when we use the sign convention for this particular couple, the torque will be negative. If it is clockwise, it will be negative. Now coming to the second case, you know it produces what type of rotation? It produces anti-clockwise rotation. It produces anti-clockwise rotation. So for anti-clockwise rotation, you know the torque is taken to be positive. So for this particular couple, the torque will be taken as positive. So we apply the same sign convention for rotation, that means clockwise or anti-clockwise. If it is clockwise rotation, the torque will be negative, and for anti-clockwise rotation, the torque will be positive. And this diagram, first one produces clockwise. You can start from any arrow and you just complete that rotation. You can see whether it is clockwise or anti-clockwise. So if you start from here also, you will be getting clockwise. Okay, so in the second diagram, you will get like this, which is anti-clockwise. Even if you start from here also, you will get anti-clockwise itself. So that is how we see whether it is producing clockwise rotation or anti-clockwise rotation. So couple does not produce. So it is a very important point regarding couple, because when we look at the couple means equal and opposite forces, and the two forces act on the same body. So when we look for net force acting on the object will be equal to 0, because both the forces have equal magnitude and they are in opposite direction acting on the same object. So net force acting on the object will be equal to 0. If the net force is equal to 0, we can say that acceleration is equal to 0 and there will not be any translational movement, we can say. Okay. And due to couple, there will be torque. That means resultant moment will not be equal to 0, or net torque will not be equal to 0, but net force will be equal to 0. So you can write like this also. That means what is the important property of couple? When a couple act on an object, we can say net force equal to 0, but net torque will not be equal to 0. So this is the important point regarding the couple. So now we will discuss one problem. The width of a door is 80 centimeter. If it is opened by applying a force of 20 Newton at its edge away from the hinges, calculate the torque produced which causes the door to open. So in this question, force is 20 Newton and the width of the door is given as 80 centimeter. So you know the distance of the line of action of the force from the axis of rotation, that distance is 80 centimeter, which is the same as 0.8 meter. So when you apply the force is acting in a direction perpendicular to vector r. So here in this case, theta will be equal to 90 degree, and the torque tau, you know, it is RF sin theta. So if theta is 90 degree, sin theta becomes 1 and torque tau equal to R into F. That's what we have here. Torque is equal to F into R. So 20 into 0.8, that is 16 Newton meter. Now coming to the next problem. In the previous question, if the handle of the door is situated 20 centimeter from the edge, and we know the torque required to open the door is 16 Newton meter, what is the force applied through the handle to open the door? So the same question we have, but the change is this. Here we know the torque required to open the door, and we need to find the force if we are fixing the handle at a distance 20 centimeter. So here that distance R becomes 20 centimeter from the edge. Edge 20 centimeter. From the edge it is 20 centimeter. So from the axis of rotation, the distance becomes 80 minus 20, that is 60 centimeter, that is 0.6 meter. So in the expression for torque, F we don't know, R is 0.6 and the torque is 16 Newton. So we have the force as 16 by 0.6, that is 26.7 Newton. Now we have a problem from the textbook, that is example 7.5. Find the torque of a force 7I plus 3J minus 5K about the origin. The force acts on a particle whose position vector is I minus J plus K. So here we have R is equal to I minus J plus K and F is equal to 7I plus 3J minus 5K. So taking the cross product R cross F, we have I cap into 5 minus 3. Like this we are taking 5 minus 3 and plus j cap into 7 minus 5, that is 7 minus 5, that is plus 12, plus 3 minus, so we have the next term as 3 minus 7. So we have actually 2i plus 12j plus 10k. So with that we conclude today's lesson. Thank you.